Peace and blessings. I'm Dr. Bobby Price, aka Dr. Holistic, and welcome to the journey where we learn more about healing naturally and holistically. And in today's session, I'm going to teach you about 10 natural ways to get rid of pain. 10 pain relievers that you don't need a prescription for. All right. It's one of the number one causes of why people are written a prescription. It's one of the number one causes why people end up in a clinic, urgent care, or ER. So we have to have natural options for this, right? And there are natural options that our ancestors always used, but we've gotten away from. And it's unfortunate that the things that we commonly use for all the different types of pain, would that be, PMS pain, from your menstrual cycle, whether that be the kind of pain that's in the form of a tooth pain, whether that be the kind of pain that comes from the joints or an injured muscle, okay, a bump or a bruise, whether that be a headache, whether that be stomach pain, whatever type of pain there is, there's a natural option for it. And I'm going to give you 10 of them today. All right. So when you start to think about what people are taking today, then you understand that a lot of the options that people are taking today are actually causing more issues down the line. I'll give you an example with Tylenol. People take a lot of Tylenol and they get it over the counter and they think to themselves, this can't be harmful because I don't need a prescription for it. But Tylenol can actually lead to liver damage and amongst a lot of other things too, okay? Ibuprofen, for instance, and other NSAIDs, natural non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, all right, like ibuprofen. The unfortunate thing about a lot of those is that they can cause ulcers. They can cause gut dysbiosis, which is they kill all the bad bacteria, the good bacteria, and leave all the bad bacteria to flourish and overgrow. Okay. Also can lead to GI bleeding, can lead to heartburn. So you could be taking, let's say for instance, you're taking your ibuprofen because you're having knee problems, a little bit of, tendonitis or arthritis in the knee. You're taking your ibuprofen. And then all of a sudden you get a heartburn. Okay. And then all of a sudden your gut starts to dysfunction. All of that started with the fact that you started with the ibuprofen and you didn't address the real issue, okay, with the knee or the arthritis in that case, okay? So that's hugely important as well too, all right? Another thing that ibuprofen can cause is perforations or holes in the esophagus. This too leading down from your throat into your stomach. It could actually cause holes in that in addition to the ulcers and the GI bleeding as well too. And a lot of people don't know this about Tylenol and ibuprofen and how they can cause kidney damage as well too. All right, so hugely important. Opioids. I know a lot of you have been seeing in the news all of the issues around opioids, all of the people, both people we know and celebrities dying of opioid poisoning, okay, or overdoses, okay? As a matter of fact, opioids kill about 100,000 people every year. Almost 200 plus people die every day of opioids, okay? That is more than crack cocaine, marijuana, and meth put together, okay? And this is a prescription that is actually legal compared to illegal drugs. Now, I'm not suggesting that we start letting people take illicit drugs, but I'm just trying to show you the cross comparison. It's one of the leading causes of deaths for Americans. So that's a huge issue. All right. So the options that are going to give you today are going to be natural options that don't come with all of these side effects. That's the beautiful thing about them. All right. So let's not even delay. Let's get into number one. Number one is going to be a herb called feverfew. Feverfew is really good because feverfew allows blood vessels to relax. Okay. And when it allows these blood vessels to relax, this is what makes it good for headaches, okay? It's also good for skin irritations and itching as well too, and arthritis, okay? So you want to take maybe 1 tablespoon of the dried herb and make a tea from it, all right? That's the easiest way to use feverfew, okay? Let's say you don't have access to feverfew. Everybody, number 2, can have access to rosemary, the herb rosemary. All right. Rosemary increases the supply of oxygen to the brain. Okay. All right, this is the beautiful thing, because the more oxygen you get to the brain, sometimes you're having the headache because you don't have enough oxygen to the brain. And the beautiful thing about rosemary is not only is it good for your headaches, but it also is really good for growing your hair as well too. So you can drink it as a tea, and you could take the rosemary, and if you have some lion's mane, you could actually make a tincture with the rosemary and lion's mane. It'll actually improve your focus as well too. So rosemary is really good for headaches. All right, so you can use rosemary, or you can use number 1, feverfew. All right, number 3. All right, and number three is probably one of my favorite pain relievers when it comes to all herbs, and that herb is white willow bark. All right, it comes from the white willow tree, and it's the bark of the tree. All right, and what I like about white willow bark is that it decreases what are called cytokines. Now, you probably heard of cytokines during the pandemic, because anybody who got COVID noticed that they had this sharp increase in cytokines, which created a lot of inflammation, specifically in the case of COVID, in the lungs, but this could be inflammation in the knees, the back, wherever. Okay, and the beautiful thing about white willow bark is that it decreases those type of cytokines. It also decreases white blood cells. It's really good for gout as well too. And guess what? This is the original aspirin. Okay, this is where aspirin was originated from. Okay, so they call it nature's aspirin. So white willow bark, that's a really good herb to use as well too. The next one, number 3, and I've talked about this one in another video, so please go check that video out and you'll learn about all the other benefits, but cloves. Okay, so if you have tooth pain, all right, specifically tooth pain or gum pain, you want to use cloves. Okay, now if you have the whole cloves, you can crush them up and put them around the tooth or the gum. Okay, I would highly recommend you get the essential oil. Just make sure you get it pure. Okay, and what you could do is put it on the end of swab the Q-tip with it and put that around the infected area. Okay, and that'll be really useful for a toothache. Okay, if you have a cavity, you could actually put it in the cavity, and that'll be helpful as well too. All right, so check out my video on cloves. I dive deeply into sort of letting you know how beneficial cloves are, not just for this tooth pain, but so many other things as well too. All right, number 5 is cayenne pepper. All right, I like to take cayenne pepper and make a handmade salve. That salve could be made with beeswax. It could be made with shea butter as well too. It adds heat to the area, so it's really good for pulled muscles or sore muscles or bruises, things of that nature. But make sure if you're gonna use cayenne pepper on a bruise or a pulled muscle, whatever it may be, make sure it is a closed, there's no wounds there, all right? You do not want any type of wound there, because if you're putting cayenne pepper there, it brings the heat, okay? If you don't have a wound, that's a good thing, but if you got a wound, you're going to be mad as hell at me. All right, cool. So make sure you're putting it on an area that does not have a open cut or open wound. All right, number 5, cayenne pepper. All right. Number 6, turmeric with pipperine. All right. The reason why pipperine is so important is because it increases the action of turmeric by almost 10,000. Okay. And what is the benefit of turmeric? Well, it's anti-inflammatory for one, but it also decreases the sensitivity of pain receptors. Okay. So it makes you more tolerant to the pain as well too. The only downside with the turmeric is that for some people, it could cause an upset stomach. Okay, so what I always tell people is, hey, if it causes you that upset stomach, then guess what? Use one of the other ones that I mentioned. All right, but turmeric with pipperine could be very useful in terms of being anti-inflammatory, but also decreasing the sensitivity of pain receptors as well too. All right, number 7. This one is called Boswellia serrata. Okay, it's anti-inflammatory, it's anti-arthritic, so good for those with arthritis. It's also good for osteoarthritis as well too. All right, and it also has analgesic properties, which is, anti-pain properties, so to speak. Now, This particular herb is referred to as Indian frankincense. All right, so you may see that name as well too. And what I recommend, if you can find the formulation, it's a trademark formulation of this combination of herbs with Boswellia serrata. It's called 5-LOX, 5-LOX. If you can get that trademark formulation of the herb, that's probably one of the most effective formulations, okay? So you can try that one out as well too. And you may notice that when you're looking for a natural pain reliever, you may see a combination of these herbs as well too, all right? Number 8, all right? The number 8 way that you can actually help relieve pain is correcting your vitamin D. 76% of people who are black and brown like myself, and I think somewhere around 50% of people who are, our Caucasian ancestors, Caucasian sisters and brothers, are vitamin D deficient, okay? And vitamin D is a potent anti-inflammatory, okay? So a lot of times you actually become more sensitive to pain because you're deficient in vitamin D. Even one of the tests that I give people to check if they have vitamin D is to just take their knuckles and pretend like this is your shin, okay, on your lower leg, and just knock at your shin like this. If it is painful for you to do that on your shin, you more than likely have vitamin D deficiency, okay? That's the poor man's test, all right? And again, it is potent when it comes to anti-inflammatory activity, all right? So again, if you are vitamin D deficient, then it stands a chance that you're gonna be more sensitive to pain as well too, all right? Number 9, this one, I made this one as many within this one, but it's specifically for nerve pain. So nerve pain is a little bit different from all the other pains that I mentioned just a second ago. So if somebody has neuropathy in their lower legs, if somebody has nerve pains due to an injury or a surgery, something to that nature, then valerian root is very good. So valerian root is really good specifically for nerve pain. Chamomile is also really good for nerve pain as well too. Cayenne pepper, you can use that one again for nerve pain, and also turmeric. But again, everybody doesn't tolerate turmeric, okay? So if that doesn't work for you, then use the other ones that I mentioned beforehand. And then the last one is hot cold therapy, number 10, hot cold therapy. I've had somebody who had pain in an area, let's say it was an ankle, let's say it was a wrist, a finger, let's say it was an infected finger. And what I had them do was go between lukewarm water and cold water, back and forth. So this sort of hot cold therapy, and it not only improved the pain, but it also improved the infection as well too, because going back and forth actually summons, blood flow to the area, which, when you get blood flow, it also brings immunity to the area and oxygen as well too. So hot cold therapy could be a choice of pain reliever as well too. So you got 10 pain relievers, and you really got a multiple because you can use those in combination as well too. So the next time you have whatever your pain may be, you can just simply pick from this list and alleviate your pain without having to go to the pharmacy and get a Tylenol or ibuprofen that could cause side effects, or get an opioid that we know is causing so many issues in terms of like fatalities here in the US, over 100,000 deaths annually. And not to mention that a huge number of those deaths are our children, okay? So hopefully this information has been, very informative. If it has, let me know some aha moments in the comments. Let me know if you've used any of these in the past as well too. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. That again inspires me to create more content. It also brings more awareness to the channel as well too. And I'll see you in the next video. Until the next time, peace and blessings and Godspeed.